So who do Chinese graduates want to work for? Well, a survey by Universum talked to over 50,000 students from 100 different universities. And joining me to talk about the results is Ankita Sancheti from Universum. Good to see you, Ankita.
Thank you.
Okay, so it used to be that Chinese graduates really wanted to or aspired to work for international companies, but not the case anymore.
No, actually we saw in this year's survey that the majority of the talent workforce in China, especially the young talent force, really wants to work for the local organizations, especially the state-owned local organizations. And our theory is because those organizations are often associated with secure employment, and their international counterparts are losing association with that important attribute. You can tell that the market there is so competitive, and you've got so much fierce competition in getting the right job. You want to keep that job as well. So that's one of the key reasons we think local companies are on the rise.
Well, it used to be there was a time when international companies paid more than local companies, but is that not the case anymore?
That's a really good question. And compensation packages, yes, they're quite competitive for the international organizations, but the local organizations are now on par with that as well, especially considering the fact that the business is booming in China. And international organizations are now facing that tough competition from the local counterparts there as well.
Okay, so if you're seeing more people saying, okay, I want to work for a Chinese company, is that shifting the demographics of where they really want to live?
I would say that most of the students that we have surveyed in China, they want to live in Shanghai. That's a very metropolitan city. It's more of a global metropolis, if you will, within China. So the idea of living in China is a little bit different. Very few want to live in Guangzhou. Very few want to live in some of the other provinces. So yeah, they definitely want to stay within China, but really specifically within some of the top tier 1 cities, really.
Okay, and aside from the financial institutions, what are examples of Chinese companies that Chinese graduates aspire to work at?
Examples of organizations. So we've had some of the biggest climbers this year. So you know Huawei, for example, not a financial institution, but an incredible jump. ZTE, some of these local organizations, Alibaba, they really have climbed in the national rankings there, and these are all local organizations that I don't think many international companies had thought of as real competition, but really it's high time now that they begin thinking about it.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say it's interesting if you have graduates now wanting to stay in China, what that does for the hires for these international companies.
Absolutely, and I mean, even, it's really interesting. I'm looking at organizations, and we do the survey globally in over 30 countries around the world. So when we do it in Hong Kong, we see a lot of graduates in Hong Kong thinking, you know what, China wouldn't be such a bad place to live. And back in the day, even 2 years ago, very few Hong Kong students would say, yeah, you know what, I think I can live in China. And at least at the moment, they say on the surveys that they will. Whether or not that reality comes true, when they get the offer, things often do change that way as well.
Okay, thanks very much. Ankita Sancheti for joining us.
Thank you.